What's up everyone, welcome back to the channel. Boozer here, thanks for stopping by. Today's video we are doing another account review takeover, and this time it's going to be with BigU. He's level 69 and he's got the brand new frame going on here. But yeah, we're going to do a quick account overview review. Maybe we'll do some work on the account as well depending on how things go. But first let's see what BigU has to say about his own account. Alright, so he says, "Hi Boozer, would like your wisdom for my account progression, especially Demon Lord Clan Boss and Arena. Currently a free-to-play player. He was currently 66 and now he's 69. He's 2-keying Nightmare with the 1-key Brutal. He did mention to me that he does have multi-key Ultra Nightmare possibilities, so we'll definitely take a look at his Clan Boss for him. Let's see, Iron Twins, level 9. Not really expected to be very high for Iron Twins, especially at this stage in the game, so no problems there. He's doing normal Ice Golem 20, Dragon 24, which is fine, Spider Hard, great, usually 20 or 24, and Fire Knight 20, not 100%. Okay, so we can definitely work on some of his dungeon stuff, but doing Dungeon 20 at this level in the game, perfectly viable, perfectly good, so no real concerns there. His Arena is Gold 1, so that definitely needs some work. We'll try to put together at least like a speed team for you. At least it'll be like quick and easy, or at least quick and painless, even if you're going to lose, but at least you can get your fights in quickly. Tag team bronze 3, no problems there. At this stage in the game, you don't really have to worry too much, and everybody will be stuck in bronze at this stage in the game. Doom Tower, you struggle against high level bosses other than the frozen spider rotation. Again, that's fair. A lot of the different rotations will have different roster requirements, and you might just not have the champions able to do some of those roadblock bosses, so no worries there. You haven't done any fusions yet, since Nightmare Clan Boss isn't so rewarding. Again, understandable. We'll see if we can work on some strategies here to help you get your first fusion in the bag. And yeah, he'll try to do some stuff on the weekend. So great. We got a general overview of what his account looks like. So let's get to work. Personally, I think Big's account probably relates to a lot of people. He's very mid-game, mid-level account. He's free to play. You can be a low spender free to play. You're not going to get a big leg up on each other if you're spending $10 a month versus free to play. As the game progresses past the mid game, that $10 is not going to equate too much. It might help you do like one event or something for like a fusion, which of course is helpful, but it doesn't mean that you can't and they can. That's what I kind of mean. So don't worry too much about that. This game is totally free to play a bull. It just takes some planning. But let's take a quick look at his shard count. So the way you look at shards, unfortunately, you have to look at it like resources, like currency. To complete a fusion. So if you want to complete a fusion, you have to look at this and say, hey, like this is what I have in terms of like dollars. I can spend towards a guaranteed champion, which is a fusion. So here you got no sacreds. That's going to be a bit of a drag. I'm not going to lie, for any potential fusion. You don't really have the ancients or other shards available to complete any kind of summon rush or champion chase. The mystery shards, yes, they're good. They can help you complete champion chases. You just have to be ready to pull them, right? So you have like 1400 here. This is probably worth like 1600 chase points, right? This is probably worth like 1600 chase points, which is roughly about half the amount of points you need for a regular chase. And then you can probably finish it off with maybe these 10 shards here. So if you're going into a fusion, you might be able to tackle a fusion that only requires chase or summon rush, in which case you skip the summon rush and then you focus on the chase. Chase can also be done by obviously having some stuff here like epics to fuse or pulling one of your fragments. Perfect. Hey, perfect. This is great. Mithrala, Drexar, perfect, man. I would 100% save this for a fusion. Don't even worry about CVC, because I think a lot of people make a mistake of focusing too much on CVC when you're low level. When you're low level, it doesn't really matter because you're getting probably like rare 5-piece reaction pieces, which doesn't really matter at this point. The extra shard from winning CVC, yes, they're nice, but you don't want to basically give up like a guarantee legendary, which is a fusion, by kind of like throwing away your fragments. So definitely save these for the right fusion and then use them for a champion chase. Like you basically have it in the bag here. You got 250 here. You got this Mithrala 650, 500. So that's, 1400. And then you got 2 of these guys. So that's 500. So that's 1900, I think. Let's check my math. 1900 points there. plus whatever shards you have. So you have more than enough for any kind of champion chase in the bag. All right, so you're not far off shard wise from completing potentially a fusion. The summon rush portion is the hardest part, and that requires some sacreds. For a nightmare clan boss, account, you're probably looking at maybe like 2-3 a month, maybe 3, and then you're looking at your monthly quest, which will give you 1 right here. So if you save for a month all your sacreds, you got 1 fusion in the bag. Okay, so that's not too hard to come across as long as you're focused on what you want to do. It is hard because you want to progress your account, but that's kind of what you have to sacrifice if you want to do a fusion at this stage in the game. All right, so it's doable with the nightmare only clan boss, but let's see if we can get you to ultra nightmare, and let's see the rest of your account. Today is the weekend, and you've done about a quarter of the total fights possible with free-to-play tokens. So arena definitely needs to be done way more. So your progress on this, it cannot be bought, and it cannot be sped through any other way. So you have to make sure you do this every day. Otherwise, you're just going to fall behind and never really finish it. So I totally suggest, try to double your fights. Like right now, you're about 70 fights. It's a Sunday. So reasonably speaking, try to go for 140 fights. Because all the free tokens in 1 week, I think you get, I don't know the exact math, it's like 240, I think. So those are all the free tokens you get per week. So if you're doing like a quarter of them, your medals are not rising as quickly. But it looks like you're on the right track. You're focusing on accuracy and the crit damage. Perfectly fine. So it looks good. Just increase the volume here. We're going to check the live arena stuff. No live arena. Oh, you got 1. Okay. Yeah, that's not bad. You're tackling it. That's great. Good to see. Good to see. Hydra, focusing on Hydra. Yeah, great. On the right track. On the right track. So just keep at it. I know it's a bit of a pain, but even if you get, if you don't have the loss aversion or performance anxiety from playing live arena, I have some performance anxiety playing live arena. Just hop in there, do your 50% win rate, and get out, get the medals, nice and easy. All right, let's have a look at the tavern here. What kind of resources you got? Great, you got brews. So you got some brews here. That means you can finish off, fusion tournaments if you or events without too much issue. That's great. Good to see. No chickens, 3-star chickens. I don't see, not too much food. You can probably handle like 1 training event relatively easily. The second training event for any kind of fusion would probably be a little bit more difficult, but yeah, I mean, if you have all those mystery shards to pull, you're probably okay for training, especially if you have all those brews. What do you got for books? No books. You got 1 epic ready to go in terms of overall books. Potion stuff. Potions definitely lacking a little bit. That's mainly going to come from clan boss. But yeah, no big deal here. I like the potion stash, the brew stash, so that looks pretty good to me. What does the forge look like? Materials, you have a decent amount here. You can definitely run that down to get some more gear. So you can run down to perception during CVC. Yeah, I guess it's tough for you to do the Doom Tower bosses. You're not going to get some high-level materials. Yeah, you're definitely not at that stage yet. Yeah, not a spender, so none of that. Okay, so yeah, focus on the perception gear. I mean, it's going to be some of the best gear that you have. So 47 pieces here. Looks good. Good to go. The ring, good. Yeah, 1 piece. 1 slot is fine, totally. What's in the soul here? We got 5K. You got 5K, so that's 5 units there. Don't have much of anything else, which is understandable. What do you got here? So here, yeah, you don't have too much of anything here. 1 stars. I don't mind saving them until you find something you like. If you find something you like, then consider selling them. Especially stuff like this where it's like 2 and then 1. You probably want to sell the 1 and then keep the 2. However, Painkeeper is one of those ones where having 2 might be okay, but it's not really like one that's not really a champion that you really need blessings on, for example. But not too bad here to keep a 2 and a 1. But if you had, like, for example, a renegade, 2 renegades here, usually you only keep 1 renegade. So that means you would never use this one, and it's a sell. But not a big deal either way. You have space and all that stuff, so no problem there. All right, let's have a look at the box here. We know that the dungeons are about at level 20, so let's see what we're working with here. So let's see, let's organize this by legendaries. What's he got for legendaries here? So legendaries for a level 69 player. I think he's been playing for a while. He's been playing for a while, but very casually before. He's playing more regularly now. Let's see what he's packing here. So he's got login champion, login champion, login champion, login champion. He's probably a fusion, but he said he never got a fusion before, so maybe that's a pull. That's a you know, the free, no, not the free, but the permanent fusion. Mishinaki, that's a great pull. Free champion, that's a good pull as well. Tyrant Lixmore. Visix, again, been playing a while, I think. So if you go into the daily logins, yep, he's an old player. He just hasn't been playing that much in terms of focusing on his account. So let's see, you got Visix, UDK, probably a login. Got Sil, login. Yannicka from the shop, right? Yannicka probably from the shop. So you pulled Shiromani. Yakaro probably from the shop. Pulled Crypt King. Free and a pull. Okay. Still waiting on that first Void Lego. In terms of a pull, I think. But you got some decent pulls here, right? Mishinaki, Tyrant, they're great pulls. Probably Uko is a pull for you. Shiromani is a fine pull. Crypt King, and then Septimus. Okay. Let's see what we can do here. You got some good champions. Mishinaki is a huge help for Hydra. Like, he's like super goat there. Deliana, yeah. This is an old account. It has some old champions, but what else? For epics. Ugo, awesome. That's a great one. Deacon, great one. Bane's good. Poker Sentinel can work for Ultra Nightmare Clan Boss. Seeker is very good. I mean, you got lots of good champs here. Allure should be probably leveled up. Yeah, Godseeker here. So you have the answers, right? You have the Sand Devil 25 team when you're ready. You have the Godseeker, you have the Ninja, so you have that ready. You have Seeker here in case you ever pull like you know, Demitha, so you have your 1 key Ultra Nightmare team whenever you're ready to hit that part of the game, because some people still like are, you know, lacking, right? They're lacking like the Seeker for that team, and when they pull Demitha, for example. You have the Deacon and the Seeker here, so that's great. That's just one thing you don't really have to worry about when the time comes. Of course, you're many steps away from there, but when the time comes, you have those champions available, which is good to see. All right, so let's go back. Let's take a look at the legendaries again. And yeah, Mishinaki is great for Hydra when you're ready. Visix is great for Hydra as well. I mean, you have lots of great champions here for Hydra, I think. Uko's good. Wukong's good. Rathalos is good. You could use them paired up with like these 3 for HP burners. So you have lots of HP burners that are viable for Hydra, so you can definitely do something with Rathalos. You probably want some kind of support. So you have Uko for support, and then that's about it, right? Sil, I guess. Visix. But Sil's not very good for Hydra. You probably need a support just to round out your champions here a little bit. But not a bad bunch of champions here. Let's see what your Loki looks like. Decent speeds, 100% crit rate with decent accuracy for Arena, right? This is good accuracy for Arena, especially at your stage in the game. I would probably like him to be a bit faster, maybe cut 100 accuracy off him and then just give him a bit more speed if you can. How's Rathalos looking here? He's crit cap, decent crit damage. It's a decent build, to be honest. No savage or anything, but just using the best stats. So it looks pretty good. So good job there. Not fully booked, but mastered. Okay. Not fully booked. That's fine. Yeah, cruelty is a good one. Good job there. Wukong, 180 speed. Got a little bit of damage, a little bit of accuracy. Let's see here. A little bit of speed, attack percentage, speed. Crit rate. Yeah, I mean, this is, kind of, this is what you expect mid-game gear. 4-star banner, right? You just don't have that many banners. But honestly, the builds so far looks very okay. I wouldn't put 100% crit rate on Loki. Maybe you're using him for something else, but I would make him a lot faster, that's for sure. So maybe cut crit rate first and then go for plus 50 speed if you can, and then keep the accuracy, but definitely make him a bit faster. But yeah, Wukong looks good. Masteries. I guess he's your arena nuker if you're going for Ruthless Ambush. Looks fine. He's not fully booked, which hurts him a little bit here. What is fully booked? I want to see which legendary is fully booked. Deliana here. Not an insane build or anything. The builds are, her build's the worst so far, but these three look fine. What about Uko? He's the fastest. Accuracy. Yeah, this build looks great. Looks totally useful. Fully booked. Brimstone. Good. Good. I like it. War Master. Looks good. Yeah, it's good. This is very okay. Ryzen. What's this guy doing here? Looks like Clan Boss. Oh, no damage though. I guess that's kind of normal, I guess. You got everything else right, just no damage. But that's going to be a limitation on gear, right? So, yeah, defense percentage glove, defense percentage chest. Again, the builds look great. They look great. You know what you're doing in terms of aligning the stats properly. Yeah, they look great. So, Giant Slayer as well. Yep, looks great. For Razin, fully booked. Good. Okay, fully booked with the decreased defense and weakened. Good. What about Mishinaki here? Mishinaki here. I mean, again, all the stats are here, just needs damage, right? Mishinaki actually hits really hard and he hits very often. So I assume this is probably for Hydra. Once you get gear that you can start putting damage on him, definitely recommend putting damage on the Mishinaki. But honestly, the build looks totally fine for him to be a debuffer, to apply HP burns, to apply, decreased defense and hex. Fully booked, good champion for it. I would probably recommend Nature's Wrath. Nature's Wrath is really, really strong. Unless you have, a team that constantly puts a lot of buffs on him. But Nature's Wrath gives him pretty consistent damage boost. And War Master looks fine. Definitely wouldn't put Helm Smasher on him right now with his current build. But yeah, War Master looks fine. Gives him a little bit extra damage with his meager damage stats here. Looks good. I like this build. Ninja, Lifesteal. Again, probably a Clan Boss build, 171. Crit rate, crit damage. Yeah, I mean, looks fine. If you're using him for Clan Boss, you probably want to bump up his defense a little bit. Accuracy. Speed. Yeah, the builds look good. Builds look good. Brimstone here, War Master. Yeah, looks good. Tyrant, Lifesteal again. This has to be the Clan Boss team setup here. 191. Yeah, it looks fine. Good HP. Fully booked. Good. War Master. So I think the priority for BigU has been probably Clan Boss champion. So he fully booked, mastered out some very key Clan Boss champions. So Mishinaki, Ninja, Tyrant, Razin. These are the fully booked champions. So other champions like his arena champions, Wukong, Loki, Rathalos, they're not booked. So those aren't his main champions. You could argue that Rathalos could be used for Clan Boss as well as Arena. But it looks like he has plenty of damage dealers here. Ninja and Mishinaki. Even Razin can deal a bunch of damage as well. What about his Visix build? Visix build, again, looks fine. A little bit skinny for her, not fully booked. Mastered. Eventually she can get some books, can be very good. UDK doesn't need books, so he can definitely go in the back burner for you. Master, War Master, okay, interesting. The build is a little light. 6-piece stone skin, not fully ascended or not fully, built out for him. I mean, it looks fine. It looks fine. Slow, it's correct. It's the correct build. It's just the stats are a little bit underwhelming. Don't need books for him yet. If you want to go, I mean, he's War Master. Probably War Master is not the right pick because he's super slow. He's not going to get a lot of procs off. So you probably want to commit just to building him as a wall. So it's probably going to be defense, support, and then you can probably build him with either 3,000 extra HP, or you can build him with resistance, or you build him with fearsome presence to increase his provoke chance, or you give him sheep to increase his sheep chance, for example. But probably not War Master, since he's not hitting a lot. You're not getting any value from that War Master, right? Rhonda looks like a busted build here. Not fully booked or anything, so leave her alone. Seal of the Drakes, do you use her for dungeons? She looks usable in this current build. No books, mastered. Yeah, definitely the books are a problem here. So let's see if we have any options. What our options are for epics. Maybe we can take some some of the load off some of these legendaries that don't have any books. Crypt King, Aidlin, yeah, not booked. Wrath, sorry, Septimus. Sorry, let's go over to the epics and see if we can take a load off. Ugo, Bane. I mean, Fane can replace Ryzen, right? That's the problem, but Ryzen's already fully booked. Booked. Books, yeah, they're all booked. That's good. Yeah, even some of these other ones are fully booked too. Allure is probably the next one, but you don't even need to fully book Allure. You don't need to. Yeah, all the epics are booked out that you want to use, so that looks fine. Okay, we got good sense of everything. Seems like your builds are good, man. You don't really have to, worry too much. Like your ideas for the builds look great. You have the right mind for building them out in terms of overall stats. Most of them are, they're good speed, relatively good speed, proper accuracy, and then obviously proper stat prioritization, speed, accuracy, HP, or defense. I would recommend things like for Clan Boss, you probably want a little bit more accuracy. A little bit more defense on some of your champions. Try to aim for like 2.5k or 2.4k. Like for example, like Tyrant here is a little bit light. He's a little bit light on the defense. He is defense based in terms of his damage, which is weird. Defense based damage dealer. A little bit of defense on him. Mishinaki looks good in terms of defense. Ninja's a little bit light on the defense as well. I know you went for attack building on him. I think maybe you can sub this ring out for like a defense based ring. Might help you out. You might see a difference in your Clan Boss performance. Looks like you're using Sepulcher. Okay, cool. So it looks like a 4-3 build. No accuracy. You definitely need accuracy on this if you want her to land the attack down. I'm not sure what you're doing for the attack down. Maybe you're not using her for attack down. Ugo, again, a good build here. Yeah, let's take a look at your Clan Boss. See if we can improve this first. You said you were hitting Ultra Nightmare for maybe a multi-key. Okay, it looks like you are hitting Ultra Nightmare here for... Sorry, let me move my head. Here. So you're hitting Ultra Nightmare for 3 keys, just under 60 million. So you're looking to hit it for 4 keys for the full 70 plus. Let's see your team here. You're using Sepulcher, Sentinel, Tyrant, decrease defense. You're using 2 decreased defense and weakens, poison here, and then Rosin probably should come out of this. Just on first glance, he probably should come out because he's not really doing anything. He's not built for damage. He brings the decreased defense and weaken, but you have Feign for that here. So you don't really need Rosin here at all. So that would be my first initial look. Second, Sepulcher Sentinel is probably here just for block debuffs because her attack down is not landing. So maybe you are relying on Feign for her decreased attack. Actually, we found a team. Let's have a look here. So Sepulcher Sentinel, yeah, she doesn't have enough accuracy to land her decreased attack. So I don't know if you're using her for that. Tyrant looks good. Increased defense, ally protection, HP burn for damage. And he brings some mitigation as well. Damage reduction here. Sorry, passive. Feign has the decreased attack. Poisons. She has enough accuracy to do her stuff. She's not doing any damage otherwise. And then poisons. decrease defense and weaken. So Rosin, he doesn't do any damage, right? So Rosin probably should just come out of this. Ninja is your damage dealer. Yeah, he's decked out for damage. Looks great. So I would definitely sub out Ninja, and I would probably bring somebody else. Let's see. So why not just modify the team slightly, bring in Godseeker and Yuri? Because Godseeker has an extension on her A2, which can help you extend the increased defense, block debuffs, and the ally protection. So from Tyrant, the ally protection and increased defense can be extended. And then you have the Sepulchre Sentinel with the increased defense and block debuffs can be extended by the Godseeker. Godseeker also brings some healing, which can help you guys top up a little bit. She can also deal damage. So if you gear her out with 100% crit rate with some damage, defense, and then some damage stats, she can actually hit kind of hard for a defense-based champion. She doesn't need accuracy, which makes her a little bit easier to build. You almost have her built out, so just give her a War Master here. Books are fine and everything. So I would, if you want to keep your current team without too much mucking around, Godseeker seems like a very, very good substitute for Rosin. You already have Brimstone champions, so you don't really need, Rosin for Brimstone. But yeah, so that would be my suggestion just for a quick fix. If you wanted to do like a full team rebuild, we can have a look at that as well. Let me bring up the optimizer here for you. All right, so based on the optimizer, your best team is actually a War Crusher team. So this is called, this is a team basically around War Crusher. It's based on using the block damage to basically survive, and then you have stun target. I don't know if it's full auto. I haven't run this team myself, but there's been a lot of videos and articles written on this team. It's called the War Crusher, or usually it's a Skull Crusher somewhere here, but it's basically a Warcaster team. So I would definitely look into this if you're interested. It's basically a block damage team. I'm not sure if you can hit these stats though. You can kind of see here like mid 260 speeds. You're probably pretty close since I do see a Sepulchre at 239. But yeah, you can see the top teams here. They're like 2 key Ultra Nightmare type teams with the roster that you currently have, and they're based around Warcaster. Personally, I don't think it's a full auto team, so it requires some manual inputs, which means you pretty much need to be more familiar with the team before you start messing around with your champions gear and all that stuff. So I would definitely recommend maybe giving this a look. But it looks like a kind of suspect 2 key for Ultra Nightmare. This is on Void Affinity. If you go to Spirit Affinity, there's going to be much less options here. So on Spirit Affinity, the Warcaster team is not even listed here. So maybe it doesn't work on Spirit. I'm not sure. Again, I'm not an expert on the Warcaster team. I never used it myself. Moving down lower, we actually have a team here with Mishnaki, Ninja, and Blade Master. So you got 3 damage dealers with decreased defense, Deacon with Leech. So Deacon bringing Leech really alleviates a lot of the gear requirements. So that might be something that you might be interested in as well. If you bring Deacon into your team, he can apply the Leech, and your team can almost come out of lifesteal. But yeah, this team doesn't look affinity friendly, so you don't have to block debuffs here. It's probably not going to work against Spirit, especially not for 37 million. But basically, it's just going fast, and you're just doing damage with 3 damage dealers here. So I don't see this being a speed tune or anything. You're just going fast and just dumping tons and tons of damage up on the boss. So that's one other way to do it. Another Warcaster team here, Warcaster team. So Warcaster again, another just DPS team, Warcaster, Warcaster. Here we go. We got Sepulchre Sentinel showing up here. I can see like teams with Sepulchre Sentinel being maybe like a 2-3 key, maybe a 3 key would probably be relatively consistent. Let's have a quick look at this one. This one is interesting. I'm not too sure how this one works because you have Deacon in the lead with the booster here. Yeah, I mean, not too sure here, but having Sepulchre Sentinel means you can run a 4-3 team. So it'd be a 4-to-3 ratio. Sepulchre Sentinel takes 4 turns for every clan boss 3 turns. And then you can kind of run the rest of your team with 1-to-1 ratio. So for every turn the clan boss takes, you will take 1 turn. And this really works when you have 3-turn cooldown abilities. So for example, Tyrant here. Tyrant has the 3-turn cooldown, increased defense, ally protection, which is really, really good. So you can definitely bring him along and he can do a lot of work for you. But anyways, it looks like a lot of these teams, they basically just threw a bunch of stuff together and then just kind of let them go. The Warcaster teams are probably the ones with the speed tunes. Like, for example, like, yeah, I'm not too sure here. The Sepulchre Sentinels, Sepulchre's team with the Apothecary and Seal of the Drakes. Like, we're digging pretty deep here, down to 13 million. Like, I probably want to try to get you a 3 key, but if you have to rebuild an entire team just to get a 3 key, it might not be worth it, to be honest. Would be interesting to know if your team can actually 1 key Nightmare. If it can't 1 key Nightmare, then going for a 3 key Ultra Nightmare doesn't really make too much sense. I would probably keep doing what you're doing with the 4 key. Try Godseeker and Neri. She might be helpful. You can run her with, you can even run her in regen gear, but you want to make her a little bit more tanky, give her some damage so she can help out, and then give her War Master. And then, yeah, she'd probably be better, an improvement over Rosin, to be honest. You do have Ninja's A1 decreased defense as well, so you're not likely to lose decreased defense on the boss, even if you had affinity issues. Like, for example, if Fane misses her hit, and then you have Rosin as the backup. Well, if Fane misses, you still have Ninja as the backup, so that's totally fine. So yeah, I think Clan Boss, you're probably near your limit unless you want to go down the Warcaster route. I'm not sure if I would recommend that, especially if you're really tight on gear and books. So for Hydra, let's see what you're doing for Hydra here. You did put in a key. I don't expect much here, but it looks like you might be doing okay. Where is your name? BigU, 2 key for a 35 normal. Good, yeah, Mishinaki with the Rathalos, that's good pairing. You got 2 block buffs here, 3 block buffs here. You don't need that. 34 mil on the normal. Yeah, I think this 34 mil team, you probably take it to hard, get the top chest there, and then work on a normal team. And then I think you're doing pretty good at that point. But I think Deliana comes out of here. You don't really need her to do anything. You could just stuff another damage dealer in here if you want. Trying to think which damage dealer you have kind of works here. Let's see. Which other damage dealer? Visix definitely should come into one of your teams. Just because she brings decreased speed, which is really important. And then she brings ally attack. She also, ally protection. And then she also brings a provoke. The provoke is actually really, really good. You could have Deacon anchor a team as well with the speed lead, and then, you know, decrease defense and all that stuff. You could bring Loki in for some buff spreading. He also brings like a single target veil. I mean, I guess you could use him for you know, some buff removal as well. After that, I would probably consider making Seeker a 60 just for the A1 provoke. His A1 provoke is actually really, really good. You do have to manual it, so, you know, it's a bit of a pain, but if you don't mind manualing it, he can be a budget provoker. He also brings Termir boost, increased attack as well. Your Carl also has decreased speed. Maybe if he's geared properly, he can do some damage, AoE damage for you as well. But yeah, it looks like you're basically using up everyone that you have, so there's nothing you can really do. Crypt King Grawl, I think he brings HP burn here, right? 3 turn HP burn. Freeze, decrease attack. Yeah, what you really want is like decrease speed, right? Do you have decreased speed somewhere here? Debuff, decrease speed. Yeah, Visix would be the one that I would focus on for sure. But you don't have books, which kind of sucks. So she's not 100% decreased speeder. But yeah, definitely somebody to look out for sure. All right, let's take a quick look at your arena team. You're in gold 5 now, which is a lot better than what you said you were doing earlier. Let's see what kind of team you're running here. This looks okay. Honestly, this looks fine. This looks very fine. I'm just having a look at the Mishinaki. Yeah, unfortunately, he's not built for damage. So Wukong is your damage dealer, but not fully booked. Ninja, not fully booked. I kind of want to use the Mishinaki, but Mishinaki's not. He's not built for damage. So unfortunately, yeah, it is going to be the Wukong here. Lightning Cage, probably would take Reaper just for a little bit extra damage. Rathalos works. Let's see how this team works. Let's see how this team goes. It seems fine, actually. It seems quite fine. It is negative affinity against Artak and Rhonda, so. Wukong Big Blast. There we go. I think I want to say you want Wukong to have your best damage gear if you're going to use him in this kind of setting or arena. Yeah, I think you probably want to do that. Let's see what kind of build. See, like most Wukongs, if they A2 another Wukong because another Wukong is so weak, that residual blast damage should be able to kill the whole team. But I mean, a little bit dicey here, right? I think what it comes down to is this Wukong just doesn't hit hard enough, even with decreased defense. So let's have a quick look at the optimizer and see what we can get for our damage dealer. All right, so just looking at the optimizer here real quick. So some of these builds, they're going to give you, upwards of 20% more damage. So just having a quick look here, we're going to boost your crit damage by 80, 80 crit damage roughly, lose a bit of attack. So your best builds on Wukong right now would be Broken Pieces, just with stats. So just with big stats. But definitely can be improved. You're taking gear from various champions here, so I don't know how you feel about that, but you can have a quick look here. Just taking some gear from Rathalos, for example. Personally, I would probably focus more on Wukong than Rathalos, just because you do have already some pretty good damage dealers for Hydra, and that's kind of where Rathalos is best, has more value. But I think Wukong as a damage dealer for Arena, you probably need to get up to speed. So this build, for example, doesn't really take too much gear off anybody, and you're only taking off gear from this one Rathalos piece, but the rest of them, yeah, I mean, this would give you extra 75 crit damage. You lose about 250 attack. But then you can kind of glyph it back up almost. Yeah, I mean, that build looks pretty good. Where was it? Build number 4. Build number 4, you're getting 24 extra % on your A1 and A3. 16% extra damage on your A2. And one's going to cost you, 340k silver. I think this build looks fine. You can definitely use it for the Wukong in the meanwhile before you get books on him and all that stuff. So might be something to consider. Otherwise, the team looks fine. You got 2 damage dealers to help you out, just because obviously you need some extra help, extra damage. You have decreased defense. You have the turn meter boost. You have Uko there for some additional support, which is good. You can bring some nasty stuff. Revive, obviously. I don't see another champion that maybe would be super helpful here. I mean, you could bring like UDK for some protection. You could bring Visix for some provoke, but she's not 100% right now. Otherwise, you have lots of damage dealers, but you probably need one more good support. And Uko, I think right now is your best support. And I think you recognize that with the full books, full commitment here. So you do recognize that Uko is one of your best supports. So definitely good on you for that. But yeah, keep doing that. I think that arena team looks fine, to be honest. Just need that Wukong to be a little bit stronger. Quick look at the faction wars here, about halfway to Lydia. So still a little bit away from Lydia here. Let's look at the... Yeah, keep working on it. Let's see. Yeah, High Elves on its way. Where's Barbarian? Barbarian's the other one that's kind of easy, especially with Seal the Drakes. 54. Okay, good. Good. Bannerlords 51. Good. You're on your way. Skinwalkers 52. Yeah, good. Keep working on it. Dwarf 5. Yeah, that's pretty bad. Pretty tough. Definitely probably missing some champions there. Shadowkin. Yeah, Shadowkin. You got Mishinaki there, so that's good. Yeah, so definitely just keep working on it. Keep grinding those perception pieces in terms of just gearing out some of your champions. I think you're on your way with the Ultra Nightmare stuff as well. So after maybe like a month or two of just grinding Ultra Nightmare Clan Boss, I'm certain that you will be able to complete your next fusion if you so choose so, after just saving up some shards for a couple weeks. Overall, I think this account actually looks really solid for a mid-game account. You have a good mix of champions. You maybe, obviously can benefit from maybe like one good support champion, or a champion that can maybe bring some CC. For example, if you did Armans, for example, it would be really helpful for things like Arena or just grinding like Doom Tower and stuff like that. You have Mithrala coming, which it might be the support that you need to bring this team to the next level, to bring the roster to the next level. You also have Drexar, which is actually a really, really strong Doom Tower boss killer, because he passively can kill the boss. So all you need to do is just keep Drexar alive. But yeah, I think this account looks really good in terms of just overall progression. I think it's, it looks good. I think it's probably fun to play because, you just progress in the game, right? You're going to get steady progression with this account. It seems like you know what you're doing in terms of just gearing priorities. So that's really good to see. And you're already tackling Dungeon 20s. If you're tackling Dungeon 20s, you can definitely start gearing out your champions with like, specific gear sets. So you can start farming like regeneration gear. You can start farming savage gear if you want. But yeah, so what do we got here? Sand Devil 13, Shogun 10. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. And then Pinpoint Gear 20. That's great. Level 20. So overall, I think it looks great, man. Just you're going to have to do a bit more grinding just for the clan boss books. But otherwise, you're on your way. I would, do 24. If you're doing fusion, you're probably going to do 20, for example. Fire Knight, you said not sure on the 20. Then you're gonna have to come down. I think for Fire Knight, sorry, quick comment about Fire Knight here. You're probably gonna need your Cold Heart ready to go, because I didn't see your Cold Heart at 60. Okay, your Cold Heart is at 60 here. A little bit slow. Accuracy is fine. Yeah, you need to bring this guy up maybe about 30 speed points. Speed there. You're probably just limited by your gear at this point, but you definitely want a little bit more speed on this Cold Heart. But yeah, as long as you have Cold Heart, you can definitely do the Fire Knight. If you wanted to, you can bring up the Allure. The Allure is going to be really good, just to give you consistency against the Fire Knight. You can also even bring somebody like Apothecary for increased speed. But I think you have maybe slightly better champions for that. Like you have Uko here for increased speed. You have turn meter boost here with Deacon. So I definitely think you can have something for Fire Knight. Like for example here, I just did a quick optimizer on level 20. These guys running multiple Cold Hearts. I see a Lure here as well. I see a Wave Clear. So Wukong could be your Wave Clear once you give him some better gear. Deacon for the turn meter boost. And then you have a Lure here as well to keep the turn meter down. So, you can kind of see the trend here, right? Lots of Cold Hearts. You see the Allure sneaking in here. Deacon's going to be in here as well. Ruella is pretty good here with a decreased speed. Also brings decreased defense as well. Turn meter boost as well. So yeah, you even see Mordecai in here. He's going to come in here with a turn meter drop, HP burns, Wrathflows for wave clear. So yeah, this is kind of what you're looking at for the Fire Knight. But anyways, guys, that's going to be it for this video, this account review. Hopefully it's going to be helpful for Big U, and hopefully it's going to be helpful for those watching at home. Thanks a lot for watching again, and thank you so much for Big U for letting me hop on your account. Sorry it took so long, bud, but obviously, yeah, there's a little bit busy and all that stuff, but best of luck on your account. I think you're on the right path, so don't worry too much about it. Keep doing what you're doing. You're doing great. And yeah, thank you for the viewers for watching, and hopefully you guys took away something and to help you guys out, of course. Anyways, thanks for watching to the end. Appreciate your time, and I'll see you guys in the next video.